So what is the background? Punjab and Haryana High Court had stayed Akali Dal leader Bikram Singh Majithia's arrest for 3 days. The court order said that the state has made out a case for the senior Akali leader's custodial interrogation, but was being granted 3 days protection against arrest for enabling him to approach the Supreme Court to challenge the order dismissing his plea. Meanwhile, politics, of course, has escalated over the drug-related cases against Majithia. Majithia already has attacked the Congress, saying Punjab Chief Minister Charanjit Singh Channi is using a different yardstick for the Congress and the opposition netas. He's added that Sukhpal Khera has also been summoned under the NDPS Act, but no raid were conducted. And Sidhu Moosewala is facing cases under Arms Act, but again no action taken against him. So Majithia also extremely defiant against the Congress party. Akali Dal chief Sukhbir Singh Badal, meanwhile, has said he will quit politics if Channi government brings any evidence against his brother-in-law Bikram Singh Majithia. Calling the case against Majithia as, and I quote here, false and highly politicized, Badal has warned that everyone responsible for implicating an innocent person in a false case will have to face consequences.
मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ जो यह पंजाब सरकार सरदार बिक्रम सिंह मजीठिया का झूठा केस बना के ड्रामे कर रही है, इनको मुंह की खानी पड़ेगी, क्योंकि जो केस है निराधार है, राजनीतिक बदलाखोरी है और बिल्कुल राजनीतिक मंशा से की है। और चट्टोपाध्याय इसीलिए रिवार्ड किया गया था 10 दिन डीजीपी लगा के कि पंजाब को आग कैसे लगानी है, अकाली दल का विरोध कैसे करना है, इसमें उनको कुछ नहीं मिलेगा। अब चन्नी अपनी चीखें मारे हैं ना, जब उसके भांजे पर रेड हुई उसको बदलाखोरी बता रहा है और मजीठिया साहब के केस को हो कानून बता रहा है। इनको कीमत अदा करनी पड़ेगी इस बात की।
हाई कोर्ट ने बिक्रम मजीठिया साहब की गिरफ्तारी ते रोक लाਉਂਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਉਹ ਸਮਾਂ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਕਿ ਸੁਪਰੀਮ ਕੋਰਟ ਅੱਗੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਕੇਸ ਦੇ ਮੈਰਿਟਸ ਰੱਖ ਸਕਣ। ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਸਵਾਲ ਕਰਦਾ ਹਾਂ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਤੋਂ, ਉਹ ਅਫਸਰਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਹਾਈ ਕੋਰਟ ਦੇ ਆਰਡਰ ਦੀ ਵੇਟ ਕੀਤੇ ਇਹ ਸਿਆਸੀ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਆਕਾਵਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਖੁਸ਼ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਰੇਡਾਂ ਕਰਨੀਆਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤੀਆਂ ਸੀ। ਹੁਣ ਅੱਗੇ ਆਓ ਤੇ ਦੱਸੋ ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਲਈ ਕੌਣ ਜ਼ਿੰਮੇਵਾਰ ਹੈ, ਕਿਹਦੇ ਹੁਕਮਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਇਹ ਰੇਡਾਂ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਹਾਈ ਕੋਰਟ ਦਾ ਆਰਡਰ ਲਿੱਤੇ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਗਈਆਂ, ਕੀ ਹੁਣ ਇਹ ਕੰਟੈਂਪਟ ਆਫ ਕੋਰਟ ਨਹੀਂ?
I'm sure that the provocation is that he failed to cooperate with the investigating agencies, and this is not a joke. Once he gives an undertaking, he has to fulfill that. Otherwise, the High Court knows how to tighten the screws.
Now remember, why is this important? Punjab Congress chief Navjot Singh Sidhu had won his previous assembly election from Amritsar East, and he had a fair margin of about 42,000 votes. But this time to face Bikram Singh Majithia, who's already facing controversies that have been levelled by Sidhu, by the Congress party, by the Channi government, and is already facing serious cases, but says all of this is just to tarnish his image. Badal has said he'll resign from politics. All of this could just make the fight very interesting between Sidhu and between Majithia. Of course, remember, Akali Dal had been keen to field Majithia against Sidhu in a way to basically show that this is an innocent person and we will ensure that he wins and that he's been implicated. But the Congress party and even the Aam Aadmi party, for that matter, had been picking up the drug menace issue, had been even targeting Majithia. So this has become a very important issue. So let's take a look at what exactly happening. This is Sidhu versus Majithia, the first big clash of the biggest names possibly for Punjab politics. Bikram Singh Majithia versus Navjot Singh Sidhu in the Amritsar East, where Sidhu would have otherwise thought he may have an easy sweep. Could it now become difficult? Manjeet Sehgal, who's tracking all the latest with that. Manjeet, he had a 42,000 seat votes margin for Amritsar East earlier. Now Majithia, who's a big name, who faced allegations from Sidhu. Do you think this makes the election very interesting and probably a little difficult for Sidhu now? How do you think the election could change now for all these parties in Punjab?
Yes, indeed, Pooja. Last week, Akali Dal Supremo Sukhbir Singh Badal had hinted that they were thinking to field a stronger candidate against Navjot Singh Sidhu. That is why Akali Dal had not announced a candidate from the Amritsar East. But now, as Bikram Singh Majithia is being fielded, this has made this fight very interesting. Last time, Navjot Singh Sidhu had won this election by a margin of 42,000 votes. this happens to be the pocket borough of Sidhu's, Navjot Singh Sidhu in particular. Earlier, his wife had contested from this seat. But this time, as Bikram Singh Majithia is being fielded by Shiromani Akali Dal, this will definitely going to pose a serious challenge to Navjot Singh Sidhu. Remember, not only Navjot Singh Sidhu, but even Punjab Lok Congress chief and former Chief Minister Captain Amritsar Singh had also threatened that they will be fielding a stronger candidate against Navjot Singh Sidhu, and they want to get him defeated. Now, more forces are joining against Navjot Singh Sidhu, who yesterday had said that anybody can come and compete, but he will win. Now, the competition will be very tough, and the margin of votes will come down as a stronger candidate, as Bikram Singh Majithia, who in the day, while addressing a press conference, had challenged Sukhjinder Singh Randhawa, Punjab's Home Minister, to come and fight with him. But now he'll be directly taking on Navjot Singh Sidhu, the Punjab Congress.
So Amritsar East is going to be one of the most watched constituency and elections. Whether it will be Sidhu now, whether it will be Majithia, and the Aam Aadmi Party, of course, will also now want to ensure that they put forth a strong contest as well. Manjeet Sehgal with all the latest from Punjab. Thank you very much for now. But in Punjab, the heightened political activity is only increasing because now Congress is planning a mega show of strength in election-bound Punjab tomorrow. Rahul Gandhi is visiting Amritsar tomorrow, that is Thursday. The Congress Member of Parliament is all set to visit the Harmandir Sahib Golden Temple, also a Durgyana Mandir and Bhagwan Valmiki Temple. With all 117 candidates, the party will field in upcoming elections. Rahul Gandhi will also visit Jalandhar during his day-long trip to Punjab. In Jalandhar, Rahul Gandhi will address a virtual rally called the Punjab Fateh. It will be the first election rally by Rahul Gandhi after the EC announced the election schedule earlier this month. So what could be the Congress's battle plan? Punjab Fateh, what could it mean for the party specifically that's ruling the only state out of all 5 election states? Remember, for now, it will be Project Rahul Gandhi to show as the leader in charge, he's the one taking all decisions. What does that mean for Punjab politics? Downplaying the ongoing rift between Charanjit Singh Channi and Navjot Singh Sidhu that's been directly or indirectly out in the open. Punjab, for now, remember, is the only Congress state in the upcoming election states. The 5 states that are heading for elections, obviously the Congress party will want to hold on to that state. So what does this mean? Going to Golden Temple in a bid to woo the Sikh votes. There is also a Dalit outreach at the Valmiki Tirath Sthal. That's also being planned. So it's a very packed itinerary by Rahul Gandhi tomorrow. And then tomorrow itself, it appears that he's likely back to the national capital, Delhi. So that is all about Punjab Congress plan.